Hi, my name is Nirav Shah. I'm a professor at the Medical College of Wisconsin, and I'm here at the European Hematology Association 2026 meeting, excited to share some data about CAR T-cell therapy in CLL. CLL is a chronic leukemia, and for many patients, that disease can be managed with pills. For some people, though, when the pills stop working, we need to think about next-generation therapies. Therapies like CAR T. What is CAR T? CAR T is a T-cell-based therapy where we pull out your T cells, genetically modify them, and turn them basically into targeted cancer-killing cells to target B cells. And since CLL is a B-cell lymphoma, this therapy can be very effective for patients with relapsed refractory CLL. We do have a CAR T-cell therapy approved in CLL for patients who have failed 2 prior lines of therapy, including a BTK inhibitor and BCL2 inhibitor. And this product called lysocaptogene is FDA approved in the United States, but it targets only one protein, CD19, and the clinical trial that led to its approval showed that the median progression-free survival, so the amount of time before half the patients relapsed or died, was only 12 months. This suggests there's room for improvement with CAR T, and our group at the Medical College of Wisconsin has been working on advancing this technology. One way to advance CAR T-cell technology is to go after more than one protein. And so our group has a dual targeted CAR. It targets the same CD19 as some of the commercially available CAR Ts, but it also targets a secondary protein called CD20. We know CD20 is important in CLL because drugs like obinutuzumab already target CD20 and are part of the CLL paradigm of treatment. So we did a phase 1 clinical trial using this dual targeted CAR in patients who had relapsed refractory CLL. The average number of lines of therapy was 4, showing that these patients had seen quite a few different therapies before coming on to this clinical trial. We report data from 19 patients that were treated as part of this early phase study. Ended up having to do the study at 2 different dose levels because we found that the initial dose that we used of 2.5 million cells per kilogram was more toxic than we would like. And so we subsequently dropped the dose to 1 × 10⁶ cells per kilogram and found that to be a more tolerable from a safety efficacy profile. The good news is that this CAR T was very effective in treating these patients with relapsed refractory CLL. Our overall response rate was 90%, which is really encouraging. And our CR rate, or complete remission rate, was 79%. And these were best overall responses because we know the CLL responses can evolve over time. These responses were also durable because the 2-year progression-free survival was 77%, meaning at 2 years, 77% of the patients were alive and in remission at the time of our data cutoff. There's still a lot more to learn about this dual targeted CAR. We did see, like I said, some safety issues in terms of inflammation. Most people did get cytokine release syndrome. And the interesting finding was about half the patients developed a secondary inflammatory syndrome called IEC-HS, a hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytic type presentation, but something we're learning to manage, and with appropriate management, we're able to overcome some of these toxicities. Early days in dual targeted CAR and CLL, but I would say that the data look exciting. And for patients who have failed other options in CLL, we think that clinical trials and participating in studies like this offer them opportunities. So really excited to share this data at EHA 2026, and I'm excited to be here in Stockholm.